Mrs. Danielle DeVita back with another video. I overheard someone say that marriage is overrated. A lot of women say, I like the strong silent type. Well, a lot of men like the feminine silent type. And for sure, it's going down. So a lot of times people are not getting the when to speak and when to be quiet is one of the most powerful. She's going to be aggressive, thinking that. And as someone who's been married for 12 years, she's driven, not lazy. And this will make yourself and get on the right path. That understand that you might be doing a disservice to your daughter if you don't help her understand vetting and proper decision making. Now she's going to be a basket case later. If you don't help her understand emotional intelligence, she's going to hold on to a lot of emotional baggage. If you don't. Thank you for tuning in to Mrs. Danielle DeVita. So I have another quick segment for you. As we are coming up on the holidays, I understand that a lot of people will have a New Year's resolution. So stay tuned for a few things that you can do to be better for yourself and for future relationships, not just romantic ones. So before I get started, I want to introduce myself. I'm Danielle DeVita. I am a relationship and femininity coach, and my goal is to help both men and women be the best versions of themselves and find those who are best for them. Right? And to do that, you want to make sure year round, not just for this New Year's resolution that will be coming up, but you want to year round ask these questions, because as adults, we evolve. Even though we're not children anymore, you know, our mindset changes when we become preteen, when we become teenagers, when we become young adults, when we are older, when we are in middle age, and even older than that. So it's important to understand that we're going to evolve, but the whole point is to progress, to be better, not just change because society is saying change, but make sure that we are shaping ourselves to be in the best version of ourselves as we continue on through the path that's designed for us. So the first thing I would say is, how can you be better? How can the things that you say, your actions, your emotions change for the better? And this is just for you. So you want to make sure that if your confidence is low, if your self-respect is low, your self-love, self-care, if these things are not something you're doing, work on that, because you want to be the best version of yourself. That's how you bring more people closer to you, and not just romantic relationships, but in general. How is your energy? How I understand that this may be something that you grew up seeing, and so now you're portraying things that you saw. But you want to make sure that you are not just saying, this is how I am and this is what I'm used to. You want to say, how can I be better? How can I progress for myself? Not necessarily for others. Then the second you want to ask is, if you have a partner, or if you had a previous partner, you want to be better in the next relationship. So if you have an ex-husband or ex-wife, or if you are currently, now this is if you don't have someone currently, you can ask someone before, you know, what ways could I have been better? But if you currently are in a relationship or married, then ask, you know, what ways would you like for me to remain consistent? What ways would you like for me to change? And of course, the whole point is being with someone who has the same mindset as you. So if they're asking for a change, you don't want it to be something that's going to have you be disingenuous, to have, you know, for you to lose your integrity, your morals, your values, do things illegal. So you want to make sure that when you ask this question, you know that the person across from you is going to say things that stays inside of those values that you both share. All right. So you want to both share the same values. And that's why if you're not a traditional person, you don't want to be with someone who's super traditional, because your values and how your outlook on life and relationships may be different. But if you can make it work, do you, boo-boo. All right. And the third thing I would say is, you know, ask your partner, or just ask others in general, what are your strengths? And then go ahead and make sure that you push those strengths out, because sometimes we don't know our strength, but other people can see it within us. So that can help also with, you know, wanting to have more self-confidence and self-love, if other people can point out your strengths. And if you're someone who really truly want to better yourself, ask what weaknesses you have, so you can now be more mindful not to do those weaknesses. We all have weaknesses, all right? And we want to make sure that we're better. And I'm working on my weaknesses. And I want to make sure that I'm more mindful of those things so I don't do them. So if you have a mouth on you, if you are quick-witted, right? If you are someone who, has poor nonverbal communication, or verbal communication, you want to work on those things. If you are overly analytical, if you are judgmental, these are things you want to work on. And if you are someone who is just, you see things only in one lens, right? You want to make sure that you broaden your perspectives by asking other people their thoughts and then ponder on it. I'm not saying you have to do exactly what they say, but ponder on it, because sometimes an open perspective can allow for us to see things differently. All right. And last but not least, if you have children, ask your children how you can be a better parent. Because sometimes children don't feel, just like I feel, I think sometimes children don't feel like they have a safe space to fully express themselves, because a lot of times children are taught, do as I say and don't ask questions. You don't need to know the why. And I think we live in this generation where people do want to know why. I think sometimes it's good that people ask questions, because now they're able to understand the reasoning. You don't want them to go through the consequences and then they say, well, why didn't you tell me? And when kids are younger, I understand that sometimes adults don't want to do that. But just like when we say, don't touch this, this is hot. And then you get them close to it so they can feel the heat. I think we can do this, especially if we have kids who are articulate, who are older. Explain. You don't have to explain everything, but have conversations with them. And this can help you be a better parent, right? If you have friends, ask your friends the same thing. So this is not just for romantic relationships, because if you are a person who's a joy to be around in general, then you are going to bring a partner who is best for you. So whenever you want to be a better partner, think about all the other people who are not in an actual romantic relationship with you. Ask them how you are, and then try to broaden that. Because if we're only focusing on how we can be better for a man or a woman, and not for ourselves, and not for the other people that we're in relationships with, like familial relationships, mother, daughter, cousin, brother, sister, relationships with people at work and things like that, then we're not really overall bettering ourselves. We're putting on a facade for the other partner, and you don't want to have a representative. You want to actually be who you say you are, right? So thank you so much for tuning in to Mrs. Danielle DeVita. I'll have some more videos coming out really soon. Also, stay tuned on the Philip Scott Show, because I'll have some videos there soon. So happy holidays and happy new year. I will be having some content out in between then, so I'll continue to say happy new year, but get ready, starting now. Take care. We live in a world where femininity, marriages, family, and courting is no longer valued. We live in hookup culture, situationships, and struggle love. The number one reason women struggle in long-term relationships, number one, femininity, and number two, staying in a relationship or entertaining people longer than the woman should. My name is Danielle DeVita, and I'm a relationship and femininity coach. I've been married for 12 years, and I want to help you get on your feminine journey and vet for the right man today. For more of my content, you can visit MrsDanielleDeVita.com, or you can go to YouTube, Instagram, or my Facebook page. Get on your feminine journey today.